Hey, any conversation, any video, any book about your success, about you achieving your goals, about you being a one percenter, whether you are a professional athlete or a business executive, an entrepreneur, a student, whoever you might be, whatever place you might find yourself in life right now, all of these conversations begin with goal setting. And there are 1,000 books on goal setting out there, 1,000 videos on it, a lot of good advice. I'm going to give you our best advice, my best advice in this, the things that through my life I found to be important. And I'm going to encourage you to write them down, take notes, apply them in your life, more than just learning them, but apply them. The military has a pretty good understanding of the difference between knowing something and doing something, but they add to this, like every business wants you to know how to do stuff and then to do it. But the military's done pretty good in their leadership training of saying the word be, be, has to go in front of that we decide who we're going to be first. And then we find out what we need to know, and then we go do it. So if we say we're going to be a leader, we're going to be a professional athlete, we're going to be an executive, a business owner, an entrepreneur, whatever it's going to be, we decide who we're going to be. We're going to be a great husband, a great father. We decide who we're going to be first, and then we try to figure out what we need to know, and then we go do it. So goal setting, when you think about goal setting, it is always about you in the future. Who do you want to be? What do you want to know? What do you want to be able to do? Goals live in the future you. So it's not your present you, it's your future you. That's what goals are about. So if I say I want to be able to do 100 push-ups before breakfast, I have to be able to imagine the future me who can do that. And then we create the path to get from here to there. So goals are always about you and the future, and about creating a better version of yourself. So think in terms of your marriage, your family, your business in the future. The goals are about you, your family, your marriage, your business at some point in the future. Number two, we always have to ask ourselves, are we setting the right goals? We both lived through times in our life where we have set goals that we thought were important at the time, but they were not important at all. They didn't benefit us. They didn't benefit other people. They just simply were not the right goals. So we want to ask ourselves, what are the important goals? What are the big goals? And one way to do this is to apply what's known as the 80-20 rule. And there was an Italian money guy, economics guy, who noticed that the way things laid out in society were kind of in this 80-20 rule. 20% of the people had 80% of the wealth, 80% of the real estate, 80% of the money. 20% of the people ran the other 80%. Whatever it might be, it applied to everything. It applied to the way hospitals do treatment. It applied to pretty much every aspect in life. So when we go to make decisions, how do we know what decisions are important ones for our business or for our family? There are some goals and decisions that we make that are much more highly leveraged than other things that we do in life. And that's what we're trying to figure out here. So if you make a list of 10 goals, I guarantee you 2 of those 10, 20%, will accomplish for you in whatever it is in life you want to do. 2 of those goals will accomplish for you the same as those other 8 or more. So 20% of the goals you will ever make, 20% of the things you will ever do at work, 20% of the things you will ever work on in practice have the same value as the other 80% or greater. So I would encourage you, make the list of 10 goals. Just write them down, 10 goals, look at them, and say, okay, if I could only do 2 of these, what would those 2 be? What of those 2 will generate the most referrals? What of those 2 will generate the most income? What of those 2 will make my wife really, really happy? What of those 2 will be really important to my kids as I raise them? What's really important to my business as we move forward? And that's your 20%, and really do those. And don't allow yourself to get bogged down on the other 80%. There are a lot of tasks that we as business people or entrepreneurs have that are just time sucks. And they waste our time. We do not need to be organizing paper clips or making sure the files are completely alphabetized in the file cabinets. We don't need to be doing that. We need to be doing the things that are the most important 20% for us to be doing, spend our time on those. The third thing is we need to define our mission. We need to create a clear vision for our mission. And the way that works is start at the end and work your way backwards. Define the mission backwards. Whether it's a movie script, if it's a movie script, you want to write it from what is the last scene that you want in that movie. The final scene. And then work your way backwards. How do we get from here to there? If you're a golfer, you want to know this shot, where do you want it to end up? And based upon where you want it to end up, what's your target of where to hit the shot now? Because it's not just going to go and stick. It's going to roll on a green. You might well hit a shot 30, 40, 50 feet to the left or the right so that it rolls down toward the pin. But you want to create your shot, plan what you're going to do based upon the outcome you want. How do you want this thing to end? And then work your way backwards. Define your mission from there. Define your target from there. Fourth, whether it's a business goal or a personal goal, be sure you write it down. Writing it down is magic. Writing it down works great. Writing it down is important because we can look at it literally every day. Look at your goals, circle the 2 out of 10 that are the most important, stay focused on those, and delegate out to other people, outsource to other people the other 8, so that you can really focus on the 2 that really, really matter and be committed to those. Have conviction that those are important for you to work on. Be committed to those. What habits do you need to start creating today? Habits are very, very important. And your habits right now that you may not even know you have because they're habits. Habits often are things we do without thinking about that we do them. But your habits that you have today, good or bad, your knowledge that you have today, the choices that you've made in the past, these have all brought you to where you are today. This is the best you got today. But if you want to be someplace else in that future, be somebody different in the future, be better performing in the future, one of the things you have to do is figure out what new habits you have to make and start doing them today. They won't be habits at first, but to start doing them today so that they will be habits in the future. Again, if I want to do 100 push-ups before breakfast, one of the new habits I need to make is to start doing push-ups before breakfast every day and be committed to that absolutely. So we won't accomplish our goals unless we create some new habits, but in order to accomplish the goal, we can always create new habits. We just have to be committed to it, and we have to imagine what those new habits are. It's always important to ask the question when it comes to your goals, why is this goal important? Who is it going to benefit? What is the impact of this goal on other people? What's the point? Is the way I like to ask things all the time. Telos, what's the point? What is the point of this goal? What is the point of putting in the effort to achieve this goal? So whether we call it impact, or we call it importance, or we call it telos, the point, we need to define that. If the point is this is going to cure cancer and it's going to impact millions of people, yeah, you know, it's worth your time. If the point is something else that's kind of frivolous, it may not be worth your time. You may need to spend your time on those, the 80-20 rule, those 20 things that really, really matter, both to you and your business and your family and to other people. Along the way, we want to apply the plan, do, review process. So we want to have some flexibility along the way to achieve our goal. That if we are doing certain things, we plan to do them and then we execute them, we are doing them. It's okay to review and see if that is the most efficient way for you to get from here to there. Maybe, may not be. Some things you just need to grind out, like push-ups, for example. Other things, no, maybe there's another way to do it. So don't be afraid once a week, say to sit down, look at what you're doing, and apply this little formula, plan, do, review. Review it, see how it's doing, make some adjustments. Adjustments are always important in life. Make some adjustments, and then move forward with your adjustments there. Finally, really important part of this is to have a done by date. When are you going to have achieved your goal by? So I can say, again, using that example, if I want to be able to do 100 push-ups before breakfast, it's a pretty big goal. If I want to be able to do that, I need to have a date. Because if I don't put a date on that, a year from today, if I don't put a date on that, then I'll just put it off. Yeah, someday I'll get around to it. Oh yeah, it seems like a great goal. It's really important to do. But I can get started next week or next month or next year. It's not really important when I get started. There's no urgency involved in it. But as soon as you choose a date, all of a sudden, the plan starts to come together inside your head, and how to get from here to there becomes real important, and you have a timetable. Moving forward becomes urgent, becomes what you do. You become committed to it. And yeah, objections will come up. What about this? What about that? All right. Answer those objections. Overcome those objections. And then move forward. You'll be better as a person and in your business every time you get one of those objections and you overcome them. You figure out a way to solve them. So be sure you use a done by date on every single goal that you ever make. So there you go. There are some of our best thoughts on goal setting. I know you have other thoughts. Great. Utilize them as you move forward in goal setting. I wish you all the best of success. I'm Dr. Doug for CalmWaves. We're the Brain Guys.